have an orgy with that man because he's sexy. No man would tolerate. Akash finally responded back to the humiliation ritual his wife has been putting him through. It is not looking good for our boy, man. This is actually a really sad story. And it doesn't.
This is a sad story. If you guys have been following it, like Akash Singh, he's a comedian on the Flagrant podcast. Like he's Andrew Schultz's sidekick. I fuck with Akash, but the problem is like Akash, he be preaching like all the red pill niggas. They don't know what they're doing. Like they simps, they terrible, they this, they that, and not even that they simps, but he be saying that like they're dumb, they don't know how to get a woman and stuff like that. And he's right about that. But he has a woman, and he is letting his woman shit all over him and like embarrass him and drag him and make him look like a cuck. You see what I'm saying? So like that's why he's looking bad in this particular situation.
Bring me joy in even reporting on this, man, because I have nothing against Akash. He just married quite possibly the most horrible human being I think I've ever witnessed on this internet. We don't have to rehash everything that has happened over the last week, but let's just say over the last week, we have learned more about Akash and his relationship and his marriage than any of us ever planned to. And that's because we were introduced to Akash's wife, Jocelyn, through her podcast. And let's just say this podcast is nothing short of a humiliation ritual for Akash. It's such malarkey that I began to think, oh, maybe her plan is to embarrass Akash to the point where he embarrassed her. Because, like obviously, no man would ever sit there and allow their wife to tell them on a podcast in front of him. There's another man sitting next to Akash on the podcast, and she told Akash, I want to have an orgy with that man because he's sexy. No man would tolerate a woman coming online and telling us constantly that she's with him because of money. No man would tolerate his virgin wife, who he thought was a virgin, coming on podcasts and actually telling multiple stories of hooking up with men, getting her booty banged. I'm like at some point, she has to have think, okay, maybe if I do this, he will leave me. But Akash, quite frankly, ain't getting the message. And he has tried like to be supportive of her. He even responded back on Twitter when we first started covering this drama and trying to tell himself this is all jokes. He actually tweeted this a week ago when the drama first started, and it looks like his response yesterday falls in line with this. So Akash will respond back to Myron Gaines, essentially exposing his wife for being despicable, and he will say, "My man out here getting triggered by jokes. How ironic. Well, don't worry about me, Myron. I got no issue putting a bit in her place, for example." Do I think Akash has ever put Jaslyn in her?
Let me just go ahead and step in right there for you, Flacco, and say no. I don't think that has ever happened. I don't think that Akash has ever put his woman in place. Do I think that Myron has ever had a woman to put in their place? I'm gonna look at my woman and just look at her face and see, baby. Do you think I'm looking at you in the camera right now? Are you ready shaking your head? No.
Let me come off mute. For any man that has to publicly on social media say, put a bitch in her place, it's already not sounding convincing because those words wouldn't have to be used. You know what I'm saying?
I do. We don't believe you. We need more people.
Place? Not one bit. Not even an iota. The way Jaslyn is moving online is as if she has no respect whatsoever. Even a woman with a moderate to little respect for her husband wouldn't do the things that Jaslyn does online at all. Okay. And Akash responds last night because he's doing his comedy special, right? His stand-up special. And the fact that he has to stop and address this during his comedy special. A comedy special is like the Super Bowl for comedians. This is like the peak of their careers. This is like something that lives in their catalog. And the fact that he has to stop and address his wife, talking about having orgies with other men, talking about getting her booty finger banged on a one night stand with some random Blasian guy is sad. But his response, I was told by people that was there, well, not I was told, but I read the reviews online. It wasn't funny. It wasn't hilarious. It wasn't something that was like a comedic gold. No, it was actually, I was told, dark. It was sad. It didn't make people laugh. It actually resulted to him ending like his stand-up a tad bit early because the mood got ruined. because it didn't really feel like he was perfectly okay with it, even though he was trying to appear as if he was okay with it.
Akash Singh addressed the drama with his wife. He's doing stand-up shows at Cobb's Comedy, and someone who was in the crowd went to Reddit and described what he said. So I went to the 7 p.m. show last night, and it was extremely awkward. He was clearly not processing the situation well, and he ended the set 20 minutes early. I only found out about his wife the day of the show. And honestly, after seeing that set basically be his therapy moment about it, I am way more suspicious of controversy than before. This is clearly something he's insecure about, even though he tried way too hard to make it seem like he wasn't. He spent the first 10 to 15 minutes of the set talking about the controversy, how his wife has been loyal to him, and everything she has been saying is just jokes.
I don't know how much I believe somebody when they say, I didn't know nothing about this drama. I just went to the show. And because he talked about it, I figured out what was going on and went online and then somehow found a YouTuber to give the full scope to. But if they're telling the truth, and this is not somebody who is drama obsessed, they had no idea what was going on. And when they got there, their first time hearing about this drama was him talking about it. And he appeared to be very bothered by it. He appears to not have a good poker face about it. And he actually seems pretty disturbed. It would make sense. Like, it would make sense that a man is very concerned that the woman who he bragged about, who he told the world about, the woman he bragged about being pure and being holy, right, and being religious and being a virgin.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna step in right there. I don't know if I can even continue this. This video is 18 minutes long, I think. Yeah. I don't know how Flacco continue. I fuck with Akash, so I can't continue to keep doing this to him. Like I think he needs time to process what's happening and talk to her and figure. You know what I mean, baby? Baby, could you please help me? You see what I'm saying? Like, because I really do fuck with this nigga, and like, I don't think she's a terrible slut whore. Like terrible. Like he's with her now. He's married to her. You see what I'm saying, baby? I'm serious right now. Baby. Your mic. Your wait. Your mic is not on. Talk now.
I still think she's someone who needs to be held accountable. I don't think she's a good person, and I don't think she deserves forgiveness. She lied to him initially, knowing how important it was for him to be in a relationship that was based around his morality with saving yourself until marriage. So virginity, right? She lied to him, made a whole scenario and scene that isn't actually true for him to then later in the marriage, which it's already too late for him to practice
Okay,
out
let
those
me just play a
moralities.
little devil's advocate. So
No.
what if like say I was Akash, right? And like I came to you and I was like, "Oh baby, like I can't believe you lied to me. You told me that you were a virgin this whole time and you were really fucking white boys at the frat house." And say what if you told me, "Baby, this is all just you know how I always tell you like, "Oh, this is just a character, it's a persona, blah blah blah, blah blah." What if you tell me that this is you know me, Akash? Like you know for a fact that I've never been. I wish I was at white boy frat houses or whatever, blah blah, whatever she has to tell him that makes him say, "Oh, you know what? You're right. What? I forgot that this is just for play in a game." You know what I mean?
Well, that would be assuming that it's a joke and a lie.
Like
But
what I mean, I'm saying, what if it
but
really
we
is?
don't know. At the end of the day, none of us know.
No, we don't know. But
Only Akash would know. But I'm saying in the scenario that it is true that she did actually
okay,
have those stories, and
okay.
she was bouncing around in the white boy frat houses, and she did have a one night stand with a Blasian dude, and she's not a virgin like she said she was.
Okay.
Then yeah, she is a shitty person who should be held accountable because
That's a
this
fact.
isn't just a preference. This is tied to his spirituality and
No,
something
that's
he
a fact.
believes and something that you can't give back to him.
No,
This
and you
is a
can't
lie
take that
you
back, and it
can't
fucks him over.
take
Now he can't
back.
even go on to the next
But
woman.
if it is a joke, well, then it's none of our fucking business.
Right,
As the
right.
social media crowd.
Right, but you're absolutely right though. Like if this is what you say it is, then I think you're right. But if this is what I'm thinking, what this so if this is one way, then you know you're absolutely right. I think that in the long run, I think this fucks him over really, really bad because now he is not a virgin no more. You see what I'm saying? And that's like very sacred to like their whatever he does, whatever. So now the next bitch that he fuck with, even if he did want to leave her, he can't even do that. So that makes it even worse. Baby. You see what I'm saying? But if you flip it the other way, which is like, oh, what if this is all just a show and just a game, and they're just like trying to get up her podcast and make her podcast blow up. So Akash is telling her, oh, bitch, hi, Victoria. Oh, bitch, go say whatever online, and like we're gonna run up the numbers. Like people are gonna be talking about. It's gonna go crazy. Trust me. It's like it's gonna go good, which could be a very good marketing strategy. You could see me saying some shit like that to you, like you know what I mean. Like if I'm thinking like, oh, thinking about the long run, like what its social inclivity could be.
Well, yeah, I mean, we all know that negative publicity tends to get more views than positive. Unfortunately, that's how the world runs. At least from the perspective that I do have, is that I do know that things that have a negative sort of title to draw viewers in, people are more excited to jump to that. So again, yeah, if it is based off of this is a joke, this is comedy, which is very well possible. Again, it ties back to the fact that none of us know for sure, but Akash knows. And eventually, if they come out and say, hey, it's a joke, and they're laughing about it, and him even being sad on stage to the viewer's perspective is a part of the whole play, well, then, I applaud them. They wouldn't be the first in history to do
Sure.
it. They would not be the first in history to do it.
Sure.
However, if this is what the flip side could be, then yeah, it would be
Then terrible.
disappointing.
Then it's
terrible.
awful.
It's also a bad representation for young women, impressionable women. Not to mention even their community, young Indian women, young Indian girls, or young Indian boys that may see this and may be drifted off the path of what they know and what their morality and spirituality has been in their family and has been in their generation. So I think there's a lot to consider at the end of the day, but we're playing a risky game regardless. They're playing a risky game regardless.
If you guys think we're right, if you think Akash is in the wrong or whatever, like let us know. Like please make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that good shit. But we'll definitely be back with another one. See you later.